There was a time when there used to be only one landline phone in the house. Time changed, there used to be at least one mobile phone in the house. As the prosperity increased, now there are at least one mobile phone with everyone. And now if you see, there may be many more phones apart from the main phone that we are using. Now, when we see in context of circular economy, which is talking about the three key things, reduce, reuse, and recycle, how often we are doing it right, that is something that we need to ponder. Today, I'm going to talk about three very interesting standards, which is for ISO 15000. That is, these standards are ISO 15004, 15010, and 15020. By the time this video will end, you'll understand in context of circular economy what exactly these standards are trying to say, what is the importance of these standards, and what are the benefits organization can gain if they can understand and implement all these standards effectively in their organization. As I said earlier, when we talk about circular economy, there are three important things: use, reuse, and recycle. When we talk about reduce, again in context of the mobile phone, is it possible that rather than purchasing a new mobile phone every 3 months or 6 months because there's a new model or new feature is coming, maybe we can think about purchasing it at least after a year or two? That is going to help in reducing the resources. Then the second part is about reuse. How often it is happening that when we are not using an old mobile phone, it is still kept in the house. Can we give to someone, maybe a friend, maybe a relative, maybe some children, maybe a maid? At least they will not buy a new phone. And then third, the recycle. How often it happens that rather than giving the mobile phone or the battery to the dealer who can use the battery or maybe the phone again and again, we're just throwing in the dustbin and thinking that it is none of our care. So today I'm going to talk about three new standards which were released on 23rd of May 2024. And the intent of these three standards is that as per SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 in numbers, how the circular economy and how these three standards can support. You know that as per the UN resolution, by 2030 there are certain guidelines. So when the organization can understand about these particular three standards, they can very well achieve certain things, which is actually. So let's go one by one about these things. The first one is ISO 59004. When we talk about 59004, basically it's a base standard. It's talking about the basic terminologies that what exactly the standard is talking about. Then apart from that, it is talking about the core principles which are specified there. What is the vision of circular economy? And it's talking about some practical guidance with respect to some actionable steps which organization can take with respect to implementing it. In case the organization actively implements ISO 15004, there are a lot of benefits they can get. First of all, it can help the organization to have a sustainable resource management. It can certainly help in enhancing the stakeholder relationship. There will be better compliance with respect to the environmental regulations. Certainly, the organization can contribute with respect to the climate change mitigation, and then certainly it can improve the organizational resilience with respect to what all they are doing. So that brings second standard, that is ISO 59010. Now, this standard is primarily with respect to implementation part. That 59004 is talking about certain base things. Now, how to use all that and make it a more relevant and practical standard. So primarily it is talking about, it's more of a business oriented strategies that what the organization can do at their level, and it's primarily talking about that what exactly is the current value creation model that the organization is having at this moment. You can map the value chain inside the organization and outside the organization, and then you can develop the strategies with respect to the circular economy. There are a lot of benefits that the organization actively implement ISO 15000. Some of them includes that it can help to improve the resource efficiency and it can help to reduce the waste. It can enhance the adaptability to the new regulations as well as the market changes. Certainly, it can align with respect to the business practices with respect to the global sustainability goal. And the most important thing is it can help to have a advantage with respect to stakeholders' trust and many other things. And we all know that trust is the most important factor. There are many companies who are very popular with respect to their trust. Say, for example, Tata. Now, when we talk about Tata, the first thing that comes in everyone's mind is that there is a trust that we can do on this particular brand. So these standards with respect to the circular economy brings that kind of trust. Now coming to the third standard, ISO 59020. Now what is happening is that in general we need some benchmark from where we can say that where we are standing. These days, it's a very common that we say 10,000 steps should be done every day. Now, somehow, I don't know from where this number has come, but 10,000 steps has become a benchmark. Now, if somebody says I did 7,000 steps, we say, oh, you did less. If someone says I did 12,000 steps, we say, oh, you did well. So somehow 10,000 has become a benchmark. Now, 59,020 is talking about that. That what kind of benchmark we can set, what kind of guideline which can be there, so that different companies, when they are calculating about what all they are doing with respect to the circular economy, with respect to sustainable development, how do we know that where do they stand with respect to each other? So this particular standard is happening with this. So for example, it is talking about standardization of the process, how we can calculate, how we can collect the data, and how we are ensuring that whatever data is coming out, it is consistent and the results are verified. Primarily, it is talking about a structured framework for setting the some boundaries, selecting the appropriate indicators, and then interpreting all this data to evaluate the circular performance at different levels. And certainly, when an organization can effectively implement ISO 15020, there are a lot of benefits organizations can get. So, for example, the first important benefit is with respect to measuring the circularity performance. Secondly, is that they can align with the global sustainability goal that where do they stand as of now. It can help to have the transparency and accountability in whatever they are saying. It's not that they may say that we are doing wonderful, but then there is no justification, there is no accountability. And this certainly can help to make a strategic decision making with respect to the sustainable resource management, that where do we stand now and where we can go from. So if I do a summary, I talked about the three key standards: ISO 59004, which is talking about the terms and definitions about the principles and basic guidelines about the standard. Then 15010 is talking about creating a framework to understand that what kind of value creation we can do, where do we stand as of now, and what the organization can do to make it a business case. And 15020 is talking about actually having some guidelines with respect to the organization, wherein there can be certain indicators, a framework is there are certain calculation methods are there which are standardized across the organization so that we can know where do we stand as of now and how we are in comparison to the other companies. And the overall intent is three things: reduce, reuse, and recycle with respect to circular economy. My next topic will again be with respect to circular economy, where I'm going to talk about the six core principles which are specified in ISO 59004. Regularly, I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side, and they're helping me to understand these expectations. Please do continue. In case you want to understand a little bit more about this particular standard, you can find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog. There, you find this information much more. And in case you're liking these kind of blogs and videos, you can always share with your friends and colleagues. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavya.com. Thank you.